Hello everyone, this is Candy, the 614 Stitcher, and today is Monday, March the 27th, 2023, and this is my Flosstube episode number 75. I would like to say hello and welcome to any new subscribers. I have had an uptick in my subscriptions, so thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and check out my videos to see if I can enable you with a project or two. And to my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for always coming back each and every time I upload a video. I do appreciate you all so very much. It has been a couple of weeks. Everything is fine. I did go and had to have some additional testing done. However, I have a clean bill of health from the doctor. So I thank you all in advance for your prayers and well wishes and keeping me close to your heart and keeping me lifted up with good vibes. I am doing fine. So that was my little life update. I am fresh off of retreat. I went to the Fancy Works retreat in Bloomington, Indiana. It was actually in Spencer, Indiana. Fancy Works is in Bloomington, Indiana, which is right down the road. You know how cities just kind of break up and roll into another city. So it was just down the road. I had a wonderful time. I will try to insert some pictures here so that you can see. I was with Janet Jabber and also Barbara, the Raspberry Stitcher, was there. There were around 75. A couple of people had to cancel at the last minute, but it is a smaller retreat. If you would like to know more information about the Fancy Works retreat, please contact them. I will have their contact information listed below. We started on Thursday around 1 o'clock, and it was really nice. There were several of us that have keepsakes as our local, mine in my case, not so local, needle workshop. And we all sat at two tables. Well, there were 4 tables, but they were spread around the room. And we had a wonderful time. Meals were included. Stacy Nash showed up on Friday, and I'm going to show you a couple of the little gifts that we got. So every morning when we arrived at our table, there was a little gift at the table. So the very first morning, which was Friday morning, we had this beautiful little pin keep. And it is so cute. And it sits on the table just like this. It came with the pins in it. And then on Saturday morning, we came, Friday, back to Friday. Stacy Nash was a guest designer, and she provided a complete kit for this pattern. It is called French Flea Market Pin Keep. And a few people did actually finish it at the retreat. And so this is what that looks like. And it came with all of the supplies that you need to finish it. It came with the... I'm having a hard time showing it. This is the backing fabric for it, and then this is the stitching fabric, and it is stitched on a Weeks Dye Works Cocoa Linen 32 count. She even provided the floss. I'm gonna just leave this turned over. And the floss is called Linen. And there is also the Oscar floss that goes with it. There we go. A piece of velveteen from Lady Dot Creates, and a piece of wool. It doesn't say where the wool came from. It just says green antique wool. And she provided a blue ribbon also for the next surprise. We each received a pair of stork scissors. Which are really pretty. And so that was, she stayed all day and answered questions. She did provide a trunk show and did sell some products, some charts. So it was really nice to see her at the retreat. I did not get a picture with Stacy though this time. This is the second time that I have met her. And so this chart, actually, I really do love it. If you can see, which it's not very, the scissors have a little strawberry, and then you sew the ribbon in, and it also is a, can hold your scissors. So I really enjoyed that. And then on Saturday morning, let me put all this back in here because I don't want to miss anything, leave any of it out. I will leave the scissors out. On Saturday morning, we all went down for breakfast. And we had 6 meals included in the price of the retreat. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me reframe. Let me back up. The 6 meals there was a meal package. And for the price of the meal package, I was very pleased with all of the meals that we were served. And then when we went back up to our room, to the stitching room, we had another little gift, and it was this corner gauge with all of the fancy work information on it. So there, if you could, why is it showing? Oh, I think it shows backwards for me and correctly for you. And there were all different colors of corner gauges, so they had this made for us. And then on Sunday morning after breakfast, we went down. The stitching room stayed open, and I don't know what time they closed yesterday. I left around 11 a.m. So, but then we had these nice little needle holders. And of course, mine's is purple. There was only one purple, and Miss Liz, bless her heart, she held it out for me. And there are 3 needles in here, a 24, a 26, and a 28. So this will be my retreat needle case to match one of my investments that I received right before I left. So that was that. And it also came with a pin. So I'm not for sure that they watch my videos, but if you do, thank you so very much, Miss Diane and Miss Liz, for such a wonderful retreat. It was a great time. The seating was good. It was a little dark in the room, so we did have, we did bring our lamps and everything, but it was a wonderful time. And when I get to the investment portion, I'll show you what I purchased at the actual shop. So I do have a full, with being away for 2 weeks, I do have a full agenda, I guess you would call it an agenda, of stitching. And so I am going to jump right in. We stayed at the lodge, and it was called, and I always get it mixed up, Canyon Mill, I believe is what the name of the lodge was. But again, if you contact Fancy Works and ask about being put on the list for the information for the retreat, they will definitely get back in touch with you when it is time to sign up again. So today I have a few new starts. I have some whips, I have a SAF and a finish, and I will be sharing my plans and a few announcements for April. So let's dive right in. My first new start is, sorry, I'm like, oh. When you get out of the habit, even though it's just been 2 weeks, when you get out of the habit of doing a video, you have to like reprogram your brain on what to do next. So my first new start was Rhapsody in Blue, and by Rosewood Manor, and I have taken and twisted it. So let me show you what I have done. I am using and making mine Rhapsody in Purple. And this is a Silks for You. And I'm sorry, I don't know what the number is. It was in a in my Christmas Silks for You giveaway. So I am using this along with a Vicky Clayton silk. And that is what it looks like. So there will be two different colors. I have changed the name just a little bit to Blue Rhapsody in Purple. And I am stitching this on a 32 count Bayou by Live and Die LA. It is a Lugana, and I have a very small start. I started this for my friend Carolyn Zook's birthday and Miss Shelia's birthday, and there it is right there. So the next time you see this project will probably be on Saturday, and it will look completely different. I have decided that I am going to remove these 38 stitches, and I'm going to be stitching it one silk over 2 threads. I think I'm just going to like the coverage. The coverage right now is a little bulkier than what I like. So I am going to be changing that, but there's where I started with 38 stitches, and I will be working on this for the next few days because I want to get at least 200 stitches in for my new start. That is a goal that I've set for this year, so I'll be working on it so that I can get those 200 stitches in. But that is Blue Rhapsody in Purple. If you haven't been around very long, you'll realize very quickly, especially coming up in my investments, that I love Rosewood Manor. I love Rosewood Manor, and so I have a lot of Rosewood Manor. My next new start is Life is Like a Bowl of April, and that is by Pine Mountain Designs. And here is what it will look like. I have, I'll talk about the pin roll in a second. I am stitching this on a 16 count. I believe it's a Charles Craft. No, not Charles Craft, but Wichelt Ada. It feels like that to me. And it also reminds me of lamb's wool. It might be a little too light, but, and I worked on this morning, and this is where I am now. So I have put in a total of 565 stitches for this piece. It is a small piece, and it will be finished into a pillow once I get it completely done. But that is where I am on this new start. I am trying to get it completed before the 1st. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I'm going to try. I am also using the called for DMC flosses for this chart. So that is where I am on my 2 new starts. And I am enjoying them. I started the Life is Like a Bowl of April at the retreat this past weekend on Friday. Yeah, Friday morning I started that. And Blue Rhapsody and Purple I started on March the 22nd. I was delayed. I was supposed to start it on the 21st, but I had a little delay, and so I started it on the 22nd. Now we're going to go into my whips, and I do have quite a few whips, so I will try to give you as much information on them as I have. Here lately, I've been trying to tell you what I've been stitching for. This past week, in my Facebook group, Road Trip, in the Road Trip Facebook group, we had to stitch for the bank run. So all of the stitches that I've been doing this past week have been going towards a bank run, which you build up stitches to put on a credit card. And so far, as of right this minute, it doesn't end until 7 p.m. tonight, so I'm actually going to try to up my total a little bit more. I have 995 stitches in. So my first whip that I worked on, and I took this to the retreat with me because, again, fill-in stitching, is Steel Rose. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I am almost at the complete bottom of the rose. I don't know what I was thinking when I didn't realize it until this morning. Oh, let me tell you what it's stitched on. This is stitched on a 16 count color and cotton, and the name is Bell Bottoms. And I am using DMC Ecru for the floss. So I came down and worked on the stem. It never even dawned on me until this morning, like, they wouldn't have ended that just like that. So then I flipped my working copy over because I had folded it in half. So tonight, when I pick this back up again, because I have to finish it, it's only like 6 stitches to bring the end of the stem down. Then there's another leaf that I will be putting in here. And I've completely filled in this leaf at the retreat and put in this leaf this morning. So there is where I am with Steel Rose. I will not be finishing this month. I have another retreat coming up in May, and I will be preparing this for that retreat. I will be going to the Stitching in the Wilds, which is held by Garon Stitchery. And this is one of the pieces that I plan on finishing while I am there. So that is where I am with Steel Rose. It'll be so good to get this finished. I started this piece for back in 2020. And I started it in March for Carolyn Zook's birthday start for that month. The magazine monthly group was just starting, and so I made sure I was doing a piece for her birthday. And she will be at that retreat with me, so it'll be great to get it finished with her sitting closely. We are actually going to be roommates at the retreat, so it'll be great to see her again. Put the magazine back in the bag. But that'll be a good one to get finished this year. Also, it was too bad that I didn't think about that when I was picking my year of WIP projects, because that would have been a great one to have on the list, because now it's so close. My next project that I worked on was Fairy Garden by Carolyn Manning Designs. And I am working on this green one here. And here's a picture of where it was when it was last worked on. And here is where I am now. So I have worked on the middle and almost have it all complete. I need to put one more flower right here. I am using this fabric is a 14 count Fortnite fabric, and it is called Christmas Cactus. And I am using the called for DMC flosses. And there is where I am. This chart is so pretty. And for as long as it's taken me, if I just could sit, it is a lot of color changes though. You know, you do 7 stitches in this color, 7 stitches in that color. So it's coming along nicely. I do believe that I'm going to put it in for my April, so I can see a little bit more progress on it. So you all may be seeing this one again next month. So far, I have put in, I met my monthly goal on it, and for this month, I put in 262 stitches. So it really needs to come back out again so that I can put in some more stitches on it. Again, these projects, if they're a little fiddly, but if I could just focus on, well, let me not say it that way, because I do focus on them, but I need to be able to give it a little bit more time. Quite a few of the projects that I picked this month, I changed the stitches, the number of stitches I wanted to get in. And so when you do that, your bigger projects, in the ones with the bigger stitch count, get the more work put into them. So I'll probably be working on Fairy Garden for my April, because you know, April showers bring May flowers. My next WIP that I worked on was, my whole basket almost fell over. Is Women of Honor sampler. by Rebel Stitcher Designs. And here's a picture of where it was when I last worked on it. And here's where I am now. So I basically worked on the flower. I have put in all 3 of the top portions and this side portion here. So I still have, I brought the stem all the way down to where the bottom is. And when I pick this up again, I'll be continuing the flower motif on it. And then I think I'm going to also work on going across the top a little bit so that I will have some starting position for starting the names also. This month I put in a total of, I've met my goal on it, and my total was 350 stitches. That's my goal that I wanted to make, and I've put in 428 stitches for the month. I am stitching this on a 40 count Newcastle. I finally took the little stickery thing off the fabric, and now I'm a 40 count Newcastle Country Mocha, and I am using the called for overdyed threads for this project. I will be putting this away for a little while. I have other representation matters charts that I want to work on. So each month I'm going to be changing them up. And so once, I doubt very seriously that I'll be putting any more work into it since we're on the last week of the month. So she'll be going away for a while. She is a big girl and takes a lot of concentration. So she needs a little rest. Okay, my next chart that I worked, my next whip that I worked on was, and it was very little, but I met my goal. So it's Seasonal Sunshine by Ink Circles. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I am still working on the spring block, and I basically did some more fill-in of the blue. I had for a goal for this project 300 stitches, and I have put in a total of 343 stitches this month. I am stitching this on a 16 count Charles Craft Ada, and I am using the called for DMC flosses on it. I still have, you see the part of the winter to go through. This is on my year of whips, and so I will be working on it some more throughout the year. I'm hoping to push it to a finish this year. That is Seasonal Sunshine. But it is going away for at least the month of April so that I can move to something else. I have lots. I have, well, I've finished one so far of my year of whips, and I still have 5 more that I am trying to roll to a finish. So I'm trying to give each project at least a month so that I can get it worked on. My next project is in my Ohio bag, and that is StitchCon 2022, and this is also on my year of whips. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And I am still working on filling in. I actually had it almost all filled in. Well, I had my initials in there and realized I was off. So I had to take it all out and put it back in. But I do have both the knobs completed for the scroll frame. All of the stitches are in for the banding. And I chose to change the colors for my piece to add the purple in. This is stitched on a 28 count color and cotton Ophelia. I really need to try to see if she dyes more of this fabric. I love Ophelia, this fabric color. And I am using some of the called for DMCs and some of my own conversion threads. This chart is by Miss Sue Hillis. It was a exclusive for the attendees of StitchCon 2022. The purple that I am using is Peoria purple. It does have some modeling to it, but not enough to make it dramatic. So, and I still have a lot to go on that piece, even though sometimes I look at it and I think, oh, it's not too far. I don't have very much more to go. And then I think, oh yeah, you have that whole backstitched piece of thread that runs through StitchCon. And then I'm like, yeah, I got a long ways to go still on it. And that goal is to be finished by June, by the time StitchCon comes around. So I'm going to be working on this more and more and more and more and more, because I want to make that goal to either have it completed by StitchCon or ring the bell at StitchCon for it. So I really got to stay on track. My next project that I worked on, and this is the last project for this time, is Spring Quakers by Rosewood Manor. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And I just worked on this yesterday for my seasonal Sunday stitch. And here is where I've gotten to. I completed the entire motif for the very first motif. And I have backstitched the words. One of my stitches came out yesterday while I was stitching on this, so I need to put it back in. And I have come down the page to the second motif. So I will be working on this every summer from now until June, when the season changes. And this is being stitched on a 28 count Garden Party by Bestitch Me. And I'm using the called for Valdani threads. Let me open this up just a little bit to show you what. And that is what the fabric looks like. It is being washed out a little bit, but it is gorgeous. The minute I received this fabric in the mail for my fabric of the month, I knew exactly what I was putting on it. I mean, exactly. There wasn't even a thought. And so those are my whips for this week. Well, this period, because it's been almost 3 weeks. I thank you all so very much for your patience and understanding. I've had quite a few things going on, and when like this past weekend, I was at retreat. The weekend before that, I had gone to Keepsakes and thought Sunday I would be able to record a video, but I didn't have time. And, you know, it's just usually when stuff happens, it just keeps rolling and you just roll with all of the things. But I thank you so very much for always being patient and reaching out. It really means a lot to me. So my next segment is my SAF and my finish. So I showed you the bowl and the April, Life is Like a Bowl of April. Well, I stitched and fully finished the pin keep, and that is what it looks like. This project, let me see if I did not, I call myself going to make sure that I let you know it was 515 stitches in this, and when I finished it, I immediately went and fully finished it. I think it is so super cute. My bow tying needs a little bit of work, but you know, it is so cute. I am loving these little designs. There are, as you can see, there were three, believe it or not, there are 3 different colors in that basket. And then you see the ribbon has 2 different colors, the eggs. I did change that middle egg to a lavender, only because, you know, it's me. A little purple never hurt anybody in my book. And so that is what the April pin keep for the Life is Like a Bowl of is. And then while I was at retreat, I finished one of my projects that I started with Christine Stitch All the Things, and also had a learning experience. So I am talking about Forgive, Move On. This is by Lizzie Kate. I stitched it on a 14 count lamb's wool Aida with the called for DMC. And while at retreat, Miss Jan, one of my friends and roommate, taught me how to put it in French knots. So this was on a pop-up challenge by the Magazine Monthly group, and it was Spring into Action, and you had to stitch 5 hours or 500 stitches on a project that was closest to a finish. So I stitched the 5 hours, and I stitched a total of 490. So before the French knots, I was at 400. I put in 6 French knots to make it 600. So I was at 494 stitches and needed 6 stitches to make it 500. So I put in 6 French knots and learned how to do it so that I could meet the challenge. And then, don't you know, I fooled around and forgot to post. I think I forgot to post the finishing picture that I had put in the French knots last night. It's okay though. Everybody knows that I finished it because I posted it in the Facebook group, but I didn't have the French knots in it. And then when I announced that I had a finish, everybody cheered in the room for me. So I was really glad. Before I fully finish it into a pillow, I am going to add, there's a green button that needs to be added here, and I will be putting that on before I fully finish it. I'm hoping to be able to fully finish this next week so that you can see, or this coming week so that you can see it. This makes the third one that I have finished now. So I think it's time for me to fully finish the 3 that I have, and I can start sending them out. These projects have been very motivational for me. They have very inspirational sayings on them. And so once I start finishing them, they will just be out, period, for me to look at and enjoy. So those were my finishes. I've had a really, even though I haven't been with you all, I have had a really productive couple of weeks. So, okay. Before I move on to my investments, I'm going to tell you about my plans and make a couple of announcements. So, for the rest of this week, I will be working on StitchCon 2022 as my 25/7 piece. I will also be working on April, I'm calling it April Chick. Life is like a bowl of, so that I can get that done and finished up for spring. It can sit in the bowl until I get the, that's April, until I get the May one finished. You know, I'm trying to be ahead of the game. It's just that I did not start that soon enough, the April Chick. So I'll be pushing it right down to the wire for that one. I will be starting, I have a new start. I'm going to be starting for a Smalls Exchange. I may or may not put it in my video. I haven't decided yet, but I will be having a new start this week for that. And I will be working on Blue Rhapsody in purple so that I can get my 200 stitches in. And I want to do that before Saturday, April the 1st. So now for a couple of announcements. I will be starting on April the 4th in memory of Dr. Maya Angelou. I will be starting this piece, and it is called Dr. Maya Angelou. I will be making some changes to the colors on the chart. Her birthday was April the 4th, and so I will be starting this in honor of her birthday. And if you would like to join along with me, I don't have a hashtag. I don't have any of that. If I come up with a hashtag by Saturday, I will let you know. I do know that I have one friend that is going to be joining in with me. That's Janet Jabber. I will link her video, or I will link her channel down below. So if you also have this chart, Dr. Maya Angelou by the Salty Stitcher Designs, please join me in remembering what a great woman she was on her birthday. That's announcement number 1. And for announcement number 2, and I will make this announcement again as we get closer. I have the Lebanon House sampler, and I did not start it right away when they first released it, but I will be starting it on April the 15th. Pardon me. If you would like to stitch along with me on this, I would love to have you. I do not have a hashtag for this either. The hashtag, I never think about coming up with a hashtag until I'm announcing something. So, but I will be getting started with this on April the 15th. If you have this chart by Rosewood Manor and have not started it yet, or even if you have started it and would like to add to your stitching, I would be thankful. This is a 25th anniversary sampler for keepsakes. which is my not so local needle workshop. And I love all of the ladies that work there. And so I would ask that you can contact Keepsakes to pick up this chart. They have all of the accoutrement, the fabrics, thread packs, all of that for this chart if you would also like to stitch along. So I will be starting this again on April the 15th. I have chosen to go with a sky blue fabric for my chart instead of the called for. And that is what it looks like. I will be using the called for threads, however. I'm stitching mine on a 28 count 1/1. So it will be smaller than what the model is stitched on. But those are my 2 announcements for this time. If you are so inclined to join me, I would appreciate it and enjoy it. Okay, so now I have been gone for a few weeks and I have done some investments. A lot of the investments I'll be showing you, I'll break them up. Some came from Fancy Work, some came from Keepsakes, some came from the freebie table at the retreat I was at. I am just about at 47 minutes. So I'm not going to probably show you all of the things. I will show you all of the stuff I got from Keepsakes and from Fancy Works. Maybe not the all of the stuff off the freebie table because, man, I literally, let me show you. So this bag was sitting in the car next to me with all of my car goodies, you know, my snacks, my this, my that, my purse, all of it. It is now completely full of freebie stuff. I literally had to pack all of my freebie things in its own separate bag from the Stitching in the Springs retreat. So I am going to clean this up and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and the first we're going to start with is my market purchases, and I used my 25th anniversary bag from Keepsakes. All of this was in the bag when I came home, and I'm actually going to put it back in the bag so that I can read and make sure I keep it all organized. So the first thing I got from Market was The Beach is Calling by Erica Michaels. And I am pretty sure I'm going to just do it as the sampler picture up above. I'm not for sure. That I'm pretty sure is a new release. Well, it says 2022, so it must not be a new release, but they brought it back for me. And then this next one is also a 2022 release, and it is called Bloom Where You Are Planted. And it is by the New Yorker Daydreamer. The New York Daydreamer. These next two go hand in hand, and I picked up the Float Like a Butterfly, which of course I was going to get. And then I also picked up Sting Like a Bee. And if any of you remember, like Muhammad Ali, that was his trademark. That was his thing. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And so immediately when I saw this on Instagram, I mean, my mind went right back to boxing. And growing up, I used to watch boxing. I don't now, but I used to. Of course, I love Beth Twist, and I do love Paula Stewart's design. So those two, I am going to, I'm not going to stitch them together on the same fabric, but they will be on the same fabric. I'm going to stitch it using the same fabric for both pieces. There it is. My next piece that I picked up was Rebel Stitcher Designs, and it's called Civil Samplers, and I loved all three of them. So I will be stitching those. And if you have this chart, you could also use this for Dr. Angelou's birthday if you'd like. She put out a book with that title. Well, it's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, but you could use this also as your Dr. Angelou's new start for her birthday. And I love all of the etchings. I've only done one of them so far, but I do plan on getting them. And this one is floral etchings. Lots of great things for spring and into the summer. This is actually really a big chart, a big piece. It is 121 by 65, so it's bigger than what I had in my minds when I first ordered it, but I love it, so I'll be working on that. Okay, and that is new for market this year. This is not new, however, I saw Miss Sheila stitch it, and I was like, I'm in. And so it is Wildflowers by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I do plan on picking up the companion piece to this. I had wanted to get it this weekend, but oh my goodness, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so I picked this up and they brought it back to me, brought it back for market for me. So I call myself being all super prepared. Like, I packed my clothes the night before. I was ready. I filled up my car the night before. Like, I was good. I get all the way to Indiana and get ready to pay for one of my meals. And I have no card. I left my credit card here at home, which in retrospect, God was probably like, she about to go crazy. Let me, I had cash on me, but I had already purchased a project bag. Like, I had already been spending some money. So I had to be very careful with my purchasing at the Fancy Works retreat. But again, in retrospect, God was probably like, oh no, she about to go crazy. I need to, intervene here. Stitchy friends are the best because somebody loaned me money for gas, so I was able to get back home. Then my car, the OnStar went out in my car, and I had no radio because a fuse blew at the retreat in my car. Thankfully enough, I figured out how to work the GPS on my phone. I mean, it was just a calamity of things that just happens. But I just kept right on rolling with it. And, God is good because I got home. But, phew. So those were purchases from Keepsakes. Now I'm going to show you some freebies that I got from Keepsakes. Someone had dropped off a box, and we were sitting around at the table, and we all went through the box, and people got to choose what they wanted to get out of the box. This first item, though, was a gift from Miss Lenny, and I could not believe it. It is a booklet called Southern Roots, and she knew that I needed this, and she had it. I don't know where she found it. It has 4 designs in the book, and so here's a lady, and I don't know if she's doing wash, laundry. Let me see, it might say it in here. Yes, it says with the wash, Then this lady is Toil the Soil. The picture on the front says a pause for a pipe. And then the man with the gun back here is the hunter, and then sharpening the axe. I know for a fact that I will be working on the wash and the toil with the soil, because I am a gardener at heart also. And so this one will probably be the toil with the soil will probably be the first one that I start. I'll be picking fabric and all of that. I am so thankful that she thought of me with this chart. And so it was glorious to get this. I have seen other charts. I know Miss Sheila Stitches from the Sunshine Stitcher. She has a few of these charts, and so I just adore them. So now for the things out of the freebie box. There were some bookmarks that I picked up. I'm not sure exactly just yet that I'll be making bookmarks, but I thought, you know, keep your mind open, be open-minded to all the things. There were some Lizzie Kate in the box. So there were some flip-its. And this is Easter flip-it. And then this is a snippet, and it's Countdown Santa 2011. This is a sampling of Christmas. So I'm going to probably be adding those to my Jolly July starts. And then here's one for Thanksgiving, and it's just Flip It Thanksgiving. And I am lacking in Thanksgiving or autumn charts, so I try to pick those up when I see them. And if you know about the whole Lizzie Kate thing, like these were in a box, and they still, if there's a charm in there, if it comes with a charm, well, one of them did come with the charm in the box. Oh, this one doesn't have the charm in it, but I'm sure I could find one. Ooh. And this one. So two of them have the little charms and two of them don't. So those are always nice to have for smalls. Then this was a kit, and it was Love Sampler by Heart and Hand, and it was in the box. It came with the fabric and the 3 little buttons. That's a Valentine's Day. Then there was Manger Ornaments, and this is by Alexandria Adelaide Needlework. Alexandria Adelaide Needleworks. And so I picked that up. I don't have any idea when I'm starting any of this, but I thought it would be nice to have. This actually came kitted up, and it says, it's by Hands On Design, and it says, one who sleeps under a quilt is comforted by love. And it also came with it came with a fabric and some floss that I probably will not use though. It looks like they were going to do it in Halloween colors. And if you know, I don't do Halloween, so this one is totally me, and I cannot show it. I'll just show it back here. It says Whatever, and it has a little flower pin, and I am so doing this because I used to say whatever all the time. All the time to people. I probably still do say it and don't even recognize that I'm saying it, but it was in that box that we got. that we were able to go through. Then this is called conch chowder, and it has all of these beautiful shells on it. And so I'm a beach shell person, so I was like, oh yeah, that could just stay in my library. I don't need to necessarily do anything with it, but it could be in the library. This next chart was also in the box, and it is by Imaginating, and it is called Seashell Silhouette. And, you know, collecting is also a hobby. I want you all to know. It's okay to collect. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen to it after you go. Although I've told my kids, don't do anything with any of my stuff. Call my friends. Here's a collection of quilt blocks they are made into cross-stitch patterns. And so I wanted to get those so that I could make quilt blocks out of cross-stitch. And I already have some of these, but you can't have too many of them, I don't think. And then another Bent Creek, and this is also autumn, and it's called Gobble. And I love these patterns. Bent Creek makes some nice patterns, so I was really happy to get this one out of the box. Then I picked up, I am going to be trying some new things this year. I know we're already into March, but I asked if I could have this one. It's called A Year of Flowers, and it is by the Drawn Thread, and there are specialty stitches in this, and I want to start branching out and doing specialty stitches. I have heard from a few floss tubers that, you know, their stitches, they're not hard. They're good. Designers put out good tutorials or instructions for them. And I've heard that the Drawn Thread does really nice instructions. So I thought this would be really cute to make. I do not know when I'm going to start it. I might start it in January and just go through the months. They don't look to be very large, so I can probably get those in. But there are specialty stitches in them. So that was all of the items that I got from Keepsakes when I went down to pick up my market haul. The next item I'm going to show came from my friend Stitch and Button. She had a YouTube live sale, and I participated in that. And so the first thing that I did get was, it is a charm. She was selling all kinds of charms and all kinds of things. If you are not subscribed to Stitch and Button, my friend Vicky, you are missing out. I will have her linked below. So this is what the charm looked like. And I have a bag that I'm going to put that on. She was selling that. And then my friend EJ picked up a charm and had it sent to me. It is a Frogger. And she knows how much I love coffee and purple. And so when this came up, she said, "Me, please," and send it to Candy. And so there's that charm with the purple beads and the coffee mug. Thank you so very much, EJ. And then she had just a couple of bags. Just a couple of bags. And I was able to snag one of them. And so I love her bags. For my smaller projects, they come in really handy. And so it was a floral yellow, something different. Vinyl front and the inside. And then this is the charm for the zipper pull. I hope you can see that because I can't see what I'm doing now. So that was from my friend Sale, and I will have Vicky's channel linked below. So when I went to Fancy Works, I got a purple bag. I was so happy that she had purple bags. So I got a purple bag, and I picked up Rosewood Manor's Homewards. I have wanted this chart for quite some time, and so I was able to pick it up. I have a tattoo of a crossword puzzle with my children's names in it. And I am going to chart another crossword puzzle where my name is, their names come off of my name. And so I'll be using this chart to do that with. I actually plan on starting that on Mother's Day. So I need to get busy, because Mother's Day is going to be very busy around that time. So that's one. And then I picked up JBW Designs Summer in the Round. And there's Mr. Albert. Mr. Albert. And then I picked up this series with the lobster and the turtle. I really picked it up for the turtle, not for the lobster. And it is made into a little ball, like a beach ball. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I love the little turtle. And I also picked up the floss for the turtle. And a remnant of 32 count antique white. Okay, so those were my purchases from Fancy Works. And as you know the story. I didn't have no credit card, so I couldn't purchase a whole lot. That was about all I could get. But let me tell you, I had a stack before I realized before I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have that much cash on me. So. And then the lovely Miss Susan actually picked up a gift for me, and it is Quakers and Quilts by Rosewood Manor. I love Rosewood Manor. I love Rosewood Manor. I love Rosewood Manor. I have not finished one yet, but I love it. I actually have decided that I am going to take and just have all of my Rosewood Manor charts that I have not started yet. I'm going to separate them out from all of my, because I have them all broke up now into seasons. But I'm going to have a Rosewood Manor binder, I think, with all of them. I probably could fill a binder with them. Because even when I go to retreats and see them on the freebie table, I pick them all up. Not that I plan on stitching all of them, but as you will see in a second, I have quite a few. Okay, I'm back. Please excuse the sunglass look. Albert needed to go to the bathroom, and I always try to, when the sun is shining, I always go outside too, so that I can get some much needed vitamin D. My friend Janet Jabber brought me a couple of things, and one of them is called Purple Pumpkin Pin Keep, and that is what it looks like. And she also provided one of her favorite purples. And then she also made me this coaster set. And they are pieced together. And I love them because butterflies and purple. Thank you so very much, Janet. I appreciate it. This next maker was a bag that I purchased, a bag set that I purchased. Unfortunately, she was not there, and the lady that was selling it did not give me like what the maker's name was, but I'm going to show you. So it has this gingham print on it, and then the inside is Tula Pink. It came with this little tomato pin keep. It also came with another pin keep, like that gift that was from Fancy Works. And it had a notions bag with it also. And it has the same gingham print inside. And so it was a great deal, great quality. And I was so ecstatic to pick it all up. This was a set that came like this. And then Janet also provided me with two project bags. This is the first one. And this is the next one. So thank you again, Janet. You mean so much to me. Getting to know Stitchy friends, you really get to, when you go to retreats, you get to really meet people. Janet and I are also on a friends chat, so we get to talk and see each other on Zoom calls often. So I really do appreciate your friendship. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. I also purchased a bag by Tammy Blaylock, and her business name is Creative Country Girl. And so I like Lori Holt fabric, and this bag is made out of Lori Holt fabric. And here is what the back looks like. It has a cute little bee zipper pull. I'm having a hard time with the zipper pulls today. And so that was another purchase. So now that, let me just share with you. I and some of my friends went through the freebie table, and here are all of the Rosewood Manor charts. These ones I cannot show because it is just the chart inside this pamphlet. And they don't really have a name. Well, one of them is called 6 Silly Spiders. I'll be giving that away. Well, there's some good things in there, but it's Halloween, more or less. And so I won't really do that one. But here's one, and it's a Quaker sampler. And then these charts, I don't think were ever even opened. So there is Round and Round. Read, Learn, Dream bookmarks. So see, I could make bookmarks. Wyndham House Sampler. The Garden Flowers. Swirling Flowers. That Karen Kluba can make a flower, let me tell you. Friends for All Seasons, and each tree is a different season with a heart under the heart. Family Reunion, and April Tulips. Not that I will stitch all of these, but they are a good reference if you need a small. Again, this is going to be the reason why I end up putting them in binders, because now I have collected so many Rosewood Manor charts that they need their own separate binding. Let me see. I also picked up, or it was given to me off the freebie table, a Shepherd's Bush, Joy to the World. Imaginating Merry Christmas. Some of these will also be future giveaways, because I can't stitch all the things. I mean, I would like to stitch all the things. I would like to live long enough to stitch all the things. Here is a surprise one for you, though. I'm sorry, I have my email up. I'm waiting on an email response. So that's why I keep looking over at my computer. So here is a limited edition Butterfly Bliss by Glendon Place. And it is completely kitted up with the fabric. The beads, the floss is Sullivan's. So, you know, who knows? It could be a giveaway. It could end up being stitched by me. So, but what I wanted to tell you is that I am embarking on a new way of stitching, I guess, for lack of a better word. And so this will tell you I am going to try hardanger. My friend, and she was my roommate, Miss Jan, has done hardanger and has been willing and is willing to teach me how to do it. And so I went through and picked up some hardanger small so that I could start to learn. So here is one. It's called Short Markers, and they are bookmark, and they are smalls. And then here is Petite Star Banners, and you know the hardanger is at the bottom part of it. So if you have done hardanger before or have any tips and tricks, just let me know. I am going to be starting. Miss Jan has provided me with fabric and some of the threads that go with it. On the freebie table, there was this cute little bag. There was this cute little bag on the freebie table, and inside were all hardanger threads that you would use. So she literally picked the whole bag up and sat it at my station. So sooner rather than later, I will be starting down the hardanger trail. I also received from my friend Jen, oh, here's another small hardanger pattern, and it says as easy as 1, 2, 3. And it actually, on the back of it, gives you the directions. So I will be embarking. Let's see, what else? Oh, my friend Jen, by way of my friend Rose, passed along this beautiful bag with, of course, sea turtles on it. So my spirit was fed and I am full. It was a great retreat. I had a great weekend. It was rainy. It got cold, but unless you were going to the Fancy Works needle shop, you could stay in and never leave the building, which was also great. I am really enjoying the smaller retreats. Again, there was 75 people at the retreat, so it was very small lots of laughing, people walking around, you know, looking at everyone stitching. It was just a very nice retreat. I will be putting Fancy Works information in the description box below. I have also signed up for the Stitching in the Springs retreat, which is in November. And you can join the Valkyrie. I will put the information in the description box. Valkyrie Stitches Facebook group to hear more about that retreat. It is in November. I believe it's the 12th through the 14th. So I will put it in the description box below. I actually have so much more that I wanted to show you, but we are closing in on an hour and 20 minutes. I received these threads from Sherry Ward, my friend there. And these are all from Forbidden Fiber Co. boxes. And they are magnificent threads. Vibrant colors. Sherry is more of a prim stitcher, so these colors were out of her wheelhouse, but I just loved them because they are definitely in my wheelhouse. Well, with all of that being said, I thank you all so very much for your well wishes again and keeping me lifted up in your thoughts and prayers. I will be coming back again on Saturday. I need to get back into my regular routine. Again, thank you all so very much. I don't even know how to end this. It's been so long. But I appreciate you and have a good rest of your week. Bye, everyone.